Team Mayo Tucson coming at you. Arizona doesn't just have history, it has legends.
And one of the biggest starts with a mine that no one's actually even proved to ever exist. In the late 1800s, a German immigrant named Jacob Waltz claimed he knew the location of a rich gold mine hidden in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. And they called him the Dutchman.
Even though he was German. So when he died in 1891, he supposedly left behind clues to where this gold mine is.
No map, no coordinates, but enough mystery to send people searching.
Like people who have never come back. Like they actually call it the Lost Dutchman Mine. People
Why?
still go looking for the treasure there today and disappear.
Yep, some of them never come back.
Treasure hunters, hikers, explorers. Jacob Waltz was not a legend. He was a real person. He was born in 1810, immigrated to the United States in the mid-1800s, and eventually settled in the Arizona Territory. He was known as a prospector, a quiet guy, and according to accounts of people who knew him, he occasionally showed up in Phoenix with unusually rich gold ore.
How did he die?
So in 1891, Phoenix experienced a massive flood from the Salt River. Waltz's property was damaged, and he became ill shortly after that. Accounts say that he was taken in and cared for by neighbors, including a woman named Julia Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Legend says he described the location of the mine to Julia, not with a map, but with landmarks and clues. Things like rock formations and directions tied to Weaver's Needle and certain references like that. There is no confirmed written map from Waltz ever made. No official claim ever filed, no documented mining record proving he owned this claim in the Superstitions.
Okay, so people have looked for it repeatedly. Julia Thomas tried. She reportedly organized an expedition into the Superstitions based on Waltz's descriptions. It failed. In 1931, a man named Adolf Ruth goes looking for the mine, and his remains are found months later. And in our modern era, there are still organized search groups, online forums, and amateur historians dedicated to decoding old maps and clues. So yes, people still look for it. There are YouTube channels devoted to it, forums dissecting hand-drawn Peralta stones.
Search and rescue missions still happen in the Superstitions every year. Most are hikers who underestimate the heat or the terrain, but the legend always gets mentioned when someone disappears. Okay, so we're heading back down to Tucson into the Galliero Mountains. Most people here don't know, like they know the Catalinas and the Rincons. Behind the Catalinas, out towards San Manuel, you'll see the Gallieros. One of my favorite mountain ranges. It's a home of Aravaipa Canyon, windy dirt roads.
So in February 1918, Power's cabin became the site of a violent and well-documented shootout between the Power family and Graham County law enforcement. The conflict stemmed from accusations that the Power brothers were dodging the World War I draft, and there were questions surrounding the mysterious death in 1917 of their sister Ola Mae Power. Sheriff Robert McBride and 3 deputies rode out to the remote cabin in the Galliero Mountains to serve arrest warrants. Before dawn on February 10th, as the law enforcement surrounded the cabin, gunfire erupted. Within minutes, Sheriff McBride and 2 deputies were dead, along with old man Jeff Power.
So the surviving brother, Tom Power, along with John Power and Tom Sisson, fled into the mountains. The gunfight, fueled by isolation, suspicion, and just distrust of authority, cemented the Power's cabin in Arizona lore. So today, like I mentioned, it's a very rough road to get out and drive there, but there is a point where you can park and hike. So hikers can still reach the stone structure where the shootout occurred There's still like some of the family's mining equipment out there.
Creepy.
Very creepy.
And if you want to see what happens when a mining town doesn't just fade, but stops completely, Ruby, about an hour south of Tucson.
But this particular one, Ruby, was once a booming town. It wasn't like a little town. It was actually a booming town. It had schoolhouse, homes, post office, a jail, stores.
You know, if you got a post office and a jail, you're booming.
Yes.
Yep. And then there were the shootings and the border bandits and the hard frontier life.
And then the town emptied. So Ruby began as a mining camp in the late 1870s around the Montana mine, which had gold, lead, silver, zinc, and copper. And at its peak in the 1930s, it had about 1,200 residents and was one of Arizona's top lead and zinc producers. Between 1920 and 1922, Ruby became infamous for 3 double homicides, triggered the largest manhunt in Southwest history, including the first airplane ever used in an Arizona manhunt. These people be wild.
Wild in the wild,
wild Southwestern people.
Yeah. Today, it remains one of Arizona's best reserved ghost towns. Unfortunately, it sits on private property, and it closed to public tours in 2024.
Is Southern Arizona blessed to have all these cool legends, or is it cursed?
It has lost gold, ancient dwellings, abandoned mines, ghost towns.
But maybe it's not cursed. Maybe the desert just keeps what it takes. I think it's something I've always romanticized about the Southwest. It's almost like whispers or like shadows of like a bygone era that we're never going to experience ever again in any of our lifetimes.
You decide, blessed or cursed.